Welcome to Simply Happy Conversations, a podcast that teaches you how to create a clutter-free, functional and simply happy life. I'm Narelle King, a professional organiser who supports families with practical steps to simplify their lives and create a more organised home. I'm passionate about supporting neurodivergent families and individuals like myself. A few months ago, I found myself standing in my kitchen and noticed the mismatched containers and a pantry that looked like it had been hit by a tornado. I'd been so uninspired to cook and focus on making new things for myself, and especially because I'd gone gluten-free. So I needed to transform my kitchen into a space that actually inspired me to cook. So I got to work one Saturday and I cleaned out all of the expired items and organised by spices. I even added a shelf to the cupboard, and I searched on Instagram for some new quick and easy to make healthy recipes. I was then excited to make some meals instead of reaching for frozen options or pre-made options. Today on the podcast, we're diving into how you can maximize your kitchen for healthy eating with just 5 tips. We'll explore practical tips, clever hacks, and essential tools that can turn your cooking space into a sanctuary for health and wellness. So whether you're a seasoned chef or just starting out, this episode is packed with ideas to help you reclaim your kitchen and embrace healthier eating habits. Maximising your kitchen for healthy meal planning involves organisation, preparation, and the right tools. Today on the podcast, I'm going to share with you 5 tips to help create an efficient and healthy kitchen. So number 1, organise your space. This means decluttering, removing items you don't use or need anymore. It might be that spiraler that you bought to do zucchini into. Also making sure that your countertop or benchtop is clear so you're able to then create the meals that you want to. It's a lot easier to get all the ingredients out and to actually make what it is that you're wanting to create. I find when I'm working with clients in their kitchen and there's too many out-of-date items, it clutters up and they can't see everything. Whereas once we get rid of the things that are expired and maybe they don't actually use anymore, there's a lot more space and therefore they can see the items and then they're more inclined to want to cook. The next thing in organising your space is categorising your ingredients. So putting your ingredients into items, it might be like the proteins are together, the carbohydrates are together, the spices. Maybe it's just looking at how you'd like your cooking supplies to be in their designated area. And also thinking about the containers that you might be using, whether they're clear containers for visibility, and also around keeping your items fresh, making sure that the lids seal correctly. Also thinking about organising your pantry, you really need to think about prioritising accessibility. So this is making sure that the items you use all the time are in your prime real estate and they are at eye level and easy for you to reach. You don't need to move things to actually get to those items. So that means that maybe things that you use on a regular basis are sitting beside your cooktop rather than in a cupboard. But really thinking about how you use your kitchen and your space, it might be a container that you bring out with all the items that you use on a regular basis. Number 2 is invest in essential tools. When you're looking at your quality of your cookware and thinking about it, it's also thinking about what you're cooking on. Is it gas or is it induction? And looking at the pan that's going to suit best for that particular method of cooking. So you want to look for the item that's going to give you the most healthiest cooking method. In the last 12 months, we invested in an air fryer and I absolutely love using it. That has changed some of the way that I cook and has also reduced time and more efficient. And I feel like some of the things that we're cooking are a lot healthier by using this method. Another thing you might need to look at is your knives and making sure they're sharp. So even it might not be the actual knife, but you may be needing to look at getting them sharpened or getting a block for yourself and doing it on a regular basis. If the knives are sharp, it's going to be easier for you to cut. When things are hard and more difficult, then we're less likely to want to do it. Thinking about your cutting boards and having separate boards for the different items. So we have one for our protein and like our meats, but then we have another chopping board which we use for fruits and vegetables. This just helps to avoid cross-contamination between our foods while we're cooking. The other essential tools to look at investing in is measuring tools. For some of your recipes, you're going to need accurate measuring cups and spoons. I really love the magnetic ones. It means that the spoons don't get lost in the drawer. They all stick together and stay together. And the same for the cups. And making sure you have a home for those items to go back into with the cups and the spoons. That's one spot and everybody knows where to find them and where to put them back. Number 3 is plan your meals. Having a weekly menu and dedicated time each week to plan the meals has really been a game changer for me. It's helped me with reducing my overwhelm at night when I've got to think about what meals we were going to be cooking. I then also don't need to go to the supermarket so often. And it also has saved us money. When I would go to the supermarket, I'll grab a couple of things that are there and maybe we don't need everything. We could just wait another week. You could plan these meals on an app, or you could have a printable planner, or you could have a magnet planner. We have one of these on our fridge and we just wipe it off and write it back up at the start of the week. One of the other things that goes along with planning your meals is batch cooking. So this is when you prepare large portions of healthy meals or even just components. So it might be like grains. So I might cook quinoa so that I'll have portions to put in the freezer. It actually freezes really well. Another thing about batch cooking is that you could use the base. It might be the same base, like an onion, garlic and carrot base that you could use across several meals, like a pasta and a chili con carne. Number 4 around helping us to maximize our kitchens for healthy meals is stocking healthy ingredients. We all know if we have chocolate in the cupboard and it's accessible, it's in prime real estate, we're going to grab for that. Having fresh produce and having your fruits and vegetables at hand is going to help you then and help you grab for those healthy options. I love having some carrots cut up in the fridge because that's a really easy option for me to grab out and eat and snack on. Whereas if I have to cut it all up, I'm less likely to do that. I might just grab an apple or I might just grab a muesli bar that's easy and convenient to take with me. And also making sure you have the grains that you like to use, whether it's rice, brown rice, quinoa, or a whole wheat pasta, making sure that you have those in your cupboard so that you can change the items during the week if you needed to and add a different grain. Making sure you have protein, whether it's lentils or it's meat, chicken or fish, and then healthy fats. So thinking about our olive oils, nuts, seeds, avocado. And number 5 for maximizing your kitchen for healthy eating is to stay inspired. And I felt myself recently being really uninspired in my kitchen. One of the ways that helped me to get that inspiration back was looking online and following a few different social media accounts which had minimal ingredients and really simple to make. But you could also look up on healthy blogs, maybe a YouTube channel or a social media account like I did, or even cookbooks or grabbing those magazines at the supermarket that they give out so you can get some new ideas and recipes. 2 of my favorite that I've just found recently was Countdown to Dinner. Emily has simple, healthy recipes. Healthy Hophead, which is Jenna, and she's a dietitian and she has lots of meal ideas for one, which I love her sweet options as well as some of her savory items for lunchtime. I'll make sure to put both of the links to those accounts in the show notes for you. Another thing you could do is adding the ingredients you have in your cupboard and in your fridge and online and seeing what actual recipes it recommends to you. Another thing I find really helps me to stay inspired is when I involve my family, getting them to just write down on a piece of paper 5 ideas of meals that they'd like. This is going to help you to not only prep for the meals, but also just be a bit more inspired. And it may be some ideas that you've just completely forgotten about that you used to eat all the time and you haven't cooked that recipe for years. I know for us, we had tandoori chicken the other week that my husband recommended, and we haven't had that for easily 2 or 3 years. And my kids were like, oh, we used to have this all the time. So really getting the family involved is going to help to inspire all of you and maybe bring back one of those recipes that you haven't cooked for a long time. By implementing these 5 strategies, you can create a more functional, healthy, orientated kitchen that's going to support your meal planning efforts and also help you to encourage healthy eating habits. I'll just quickly go over those 5. So 1 was organizing your space, decluttering, categorizing ingredients and thinking about how they're accessible, what the container is. Number 2 is invest in essential tools like your cookware, knives, cutting boards and measuring tools. Number 3 was planning your meals. So looking at what you're going to eat for each night of the week. Number 4 was stock healthy ingredients. So making sure that your fridge and your pantry and freezer is full of the ingredients that you want to be eating. And number 5 was stay inspired by going online and looking for ideas, but also asking people in your family. I'd love for you to share with me on Instagram or Facebook your favorite healthy dinner or healthy snacks. I'd really appreciate gluten-free options. Since going gluten-free over the past 2 months, it would be amazing to have a few more ideas. Thanks so much for listening to Simply Happy Conversations. Thank you so much for joining me for today's Simply Happy Conversation. Moving to a new house? Make your relocation a breeze with our free Moving Essentials checklist. You'll have everything you need for a smooth and stress-free moving day at your fingertips. Don't let the chaos of moving overwhelm you. Download your free Moving Essential checklist from simplyhappy.com.au in the resource section. I'd like to acknowledge the Wathaurong people of the Kulin Nation on which this podcast is recorded as the traditional custodians of the land. I pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging.